Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's get Saturday Showdown underway. Best of luck, Cryticalapis and Akatu, as game number 1 is going to be beginning here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris! And here we go. We're underway for our first match of this Saturday Showdown stream. Cryticalapis versus Akatu. Let's go ahead and introduce our two players, starting out on the left-hand side with a NTSC PB of 2,967,000 points, a roller out of the United States of America. Controller roller, unlike his opponent. Hoping to make a splash in Division 1 this season after narrowly avoiding relegation to Div 2 last season. So far, currently has a 1-1 match record in Division 1A, a win against Floxy and a loss to Alice. It is Cryticalapis. And his opponent on the right-hand side with a PB of 1.791 million points, keyboard roller out of Finland. This division marks his return to the CTL for the first time since season 29, in which he did manage to also survive a relegation playoff against Armstrong. Currently has started out this season with a win versus Knight, which went all the way to Game 5. Hoping to go 2 for 2 today. It is Akatu. Cryticalapis with the early lead so far in 221 as we cross 50 lines in. Akatu on 198. These two have faced each other on 2 occasions before in ELO matches, both in Classic Tetris Arcadian in round 3 and the finals, which Akatu won by a score of 3-1. What's up, Cobra? Good to see you. So Cryticalapis will be looking for revenge today. We're saying, I don't know who I want to win this. I like both players. I mean, yeah, both very likable players. It's hard to root against anyone in the Tetris community, really. Because why would you want to? Almost everyone is wonderful, wonderful people. And even if somehow someone wasn't a wonderful person, it's never nice to root against someone. It just doesn't sit right with me. The only person I ever root against is myself. You know, because I'm a bad Tetris player. 381 for Cryticalapis, 305 for Akatu. But that is kind of true, though. Sometimes your worst enemy really is yourself when you're playing Tetris. Because I do feel like I am my own worst critic whenever I play, but, you know, sometimes that's fine, sometimes it isn't. You can't think of a punchline? It's fine. You can use me as the punchline, Winter. It's okay. Yeah, I'm sure the whole chat would be laughing in unison at that amazing joke. Cryticalapis 496, Akatu 405. We've crossed 100 lines in. Great impressive start here for both players, especially Cryticalapis. 519 at line 106. I mean, apparently that's boring to him. He's just yawned. You'd root against Adam Irish. I hate them. Same. Please don't sue me. I'm broke. I'm taking everything you got. That's slander, lies. Nice adjustment to that T piece there for Cryticalapis for the L piece in 1-2. Leaves the board looking very nice and accommodating. And while we're here, I will go ahead and quickly shout out, especially since this is a Div 1 match, our match arena. We're currently sitting at $103.44 in the prize pool. We do have a minimum goal of $1,000 for every season, which we have been able to hit in all of the past 10 seasons of CTL. That allows us to pay out our top 4 at the end of the playoffs, which is reserved for the top 8 in Division 1 over the course of the season. If we can get to $2,000, we'll be able to pay out our top 8. So everyone who makes the playoffs will be getting paid to get $2,000. We were able to get that last season. We do still have some contribution codes remaining, so if you want to contribute to the prize pool, you can put an extra 25 cents in at no extra cost. $7.41 for Cryticalapis, $6.45 for Akatu. That also goes for if you don't have any actual money to spare over, but you still want to contribute. That is 25 cents into the prize pool. What's the difference between 1A and 1B? There's no real difference in terms of skill. It's just we don't want like massive 20-player divisions, so we split each division up evenly so that everyone plays roughly the same amount of matches and that it's the most fair when it comes to balancing out for the playoffs. Level 23 and 24 respectively here for Cryticalapis and Akatu. Cryticalapis setting up a Vitz here. We'll have to get rid of the setup with a couple burns, but now is going to skim to get Tetris ready. And there's a Tetris for Cryticalapis, 890 at level 23. Akatu, 772. It looks like we do have a couple of contribution codes that were redeemed. Thank you so much to Burbia and Cobra, who actually put in $1 into the prize pool, saying, "Hello, Adam, here's $1. Thank you so much for the $1 into the prize pool, Cobra, and thank you so much, Burbia, as well, for the 25 cents. What's up, Blue Scooty's grandpa as well? Good to see you. Akatu with a couple Tetris here is 15 lines ahead, though, in terms of roll runway. Cryticalapis up to 996. Akatu is 30k behind on 936, no, 970 with that Tetris. And there's the max out for Cryticalapis on level 26 at A31. Putting some pressure here on Akatu as level 29 beckons. Akatu has a 29 PB of 775. So can definitely hang out on 29, but we're gonna have to see. Goes in at A33 into level 29 here. Gets a Tetris immediately. Gonna put that S piece down in 890 just to sort of level out the board a little bit. But, oh, a bit of a misdrop there of that L piece, and board's starting to fall apart here for Akatu at A75. Cryticalapis, though, at CO4, still in level 28. But Akatu is gonna top out here at level 30 on A75. So before level 29 even hits for Cryticalapis, he has taken game number 1 here and gets in at a C13. Also, LM Rain with the 25 cents with the contribution code. Thank you so much. We're now down to just 25 of those codes left, so half of them have already gone. So if you want to put in an extra 25 cents into the prize pool, whether you've already donated or not, those codes are still 2, 1, Tetris. Is Akatu Mickey Mouse in disguise? Let's think about this. Well, he doesn't have the massive mouse ears. At least I don't think so. I mean, who knows? They could be hiding in those headphones. I don't know. It's inconclusive is my judgment there. Both players experienced a pretty rapid rise through the ranks of the Classic Tetris League in their careers so far. Akatu kicked off his CTL career after getting promoted at the first time of asking in TMP Gold 17. So it is one of our TMP graduates that we got here in Div 1. Started competing in Season 22 and only took until Season 28 to then finally get up to Division 1. Had a streak of going back-to-back in terms of, or back-to-back-to-back rather, in terms of promotions. Going from Div 5 to Div 2 in just 3 seasons. And after 2 seasons there, got up to Division 1. Well, as for Cryticalapis, started competing in Season 27. And only took 4 seasons to get up to Division 1. Got promoted to Div 2 in Season 29 and then went up at the first time of asking. Cryticalapis at 174, Akatu 188. Both players were up a bit high there, but have managed to get back down with some good burns and Tetrises. Nice Z-spin there for Akatu. Creates a bar dependency, but luckily got another bar immediately after to fill in the dependency, but it will be a bar that could have been used maybe for, I mean, he wasn't Tetris ready anyway, but it is unfortunate whenever a dependency forms and you gotta fill in with that bar, if you can't burn it away. 336 for Cryticalapis, 309 Akatu. We're about 70 lines in now. Akatu having to take the triple there. But nice tucks with that S and T combo with the overhang of the J piece. Pretty close game so far. Cryticalapis 389, Akatu with that Tetris going up to 387. Nice T-spin there for Cryticalapis. Now Akatu waiting for the right piece to tuck in. Is going to have to put the J piece there for now, which will create a hole, but Akatu's still able to get a Tetris out of that, and a couple burns should be able to fix up this board rather quickly. But that now might allow Cryticalapis to break out into a bit of a lead here, as Akatu's got a very jagged board right now. But fixing it up nicely here. And we'll get the well open for a Tetris. Still has a hole at the bottom of the stack, though, which he is looking to immediately clear away, and will do so. Cryticalapis now with a 3.5 Tetris lead on 557, Akatu 473. Nice burns here for Cryticalapis. Just about manages to get that square piece left. Some very good taps all around as both players now about to hit level 19 again. Akatu goes in at 522. Cryticalapis 585, up much higher here. But bringing it down nicely. Good bar in column 7 there, opens it up. Bar comes in time. There's the Tetris for Cryticalapis. Akatu responding close to 600k now. Tetris again, Cryticalapis, bar dependency in column 4, fills it in. Also puts the bar in column 8. I'm just looking for a T-piece. Yes, gets the T-piece to open up that right side, and we'll get a Tetris. And still a very close game between these two players. Look at that, just 1,000 points is all that's splitting Cryticalapis and Akatu right now. 705 to 704. So now we're into level 22. Both players received votes for Premier Poll in the most recent January 2026 open poll. Akatu ranked in 15th place in between Neko and Tugi, while Cryticalapis didn't rank, but was 28th overall in terms of votes. Cryticalapis was ranked, however, in the September tap poll in 17th. That's been on the precipice for quite a while in terms of being ranked. Tetris Cryticalapis 899, Akatu 971 has broken into a lead himself now and gets another Tetris max out in 26 there. A06 now for Akatu. Cryticalapis crosses 900k, gets a Tetris 933. And Akatu with a bit of a dig here now. Was 100,000 points ahead, but that might be slowing down his pace here now as Cryticalapis will get a Tetris immediately starting to capitalize on this. Cryticalapis skims and gets another Tetris, and just like that, the lead is eroded. A10 to A14. Akatu still holds a narrow 3,000 point lead here, but that Tetris for Cryticalapis brings the lead over to him. What a comeback in the last handful of lines here in the 19 to 28 speeds. Akatu finally cleans up the board. It's still only half a Tetris behind, so we're pretty much going to be neck and neck going in to 29 here. Cryticalapis goes in first at A86. Has to block off the well just before that bar comes. This is a good job leveling out the board here. Still has an opportunity. Gets that bar that he was looking for in column 9. Akatu's at A48. Cryticalapis B02. Akatu with a great bar down in column 3. And gets the well back open on the right-hand side. Cryticalapis is Tetris ready. He's set back up again, goes for the tucks up. Nice with that T-piece, beautiful skim. And gets the Tetris. B57 for Cryticalapis. Akatu with a hang of a Z-piece. But is he going to be able to get anything over? He can't! And Akatu is going to top out at A68. And Cryticalapis rewarded for some beautiful post-post play. We'll take game 2 here at C41. And Cryticalapis so far in this set has just been unlocking a whole new gear, leaving Akatu with very little he can do. 2-1 Tetris. But even more interestingly than that last season is that in terms of the all-time leaderboards, Cryticalapis does rank the highest in Fair Median 29 transition with a 1.100 million, 13K higher than anyone else. I mean, we've seen exactly why that is so far this game here with two incredibly strong 29 scores. Herbie is saying, I believe in you, Akatu. The Akatu fan club hoping for a comeback here. And Cryticalapis will be hoping to deny them of that privilege. Nice double there with that good adjustment of the S piece for Cryticalapis. Akatu set up for a Tetris here, and we'll get that bar over. It takes the lead, 187 to Cryticalapis' 164. $280 for Cryticalapis, $281 for Akatu here. Cryticalapis up pretty high. Some good skims, but just needs that bar. Is that bar gonna come for Cryticalapis? Takes an emergency double. Nice flat burn there with that bar. And Cryticalapis, maybe he is getting bailed. Maybe he is just an RNG merchant, you know? Maybe that is the case, but no, good burns. Really good burns. Akatu with a bit of a dig here at the moment. But some nice placements, and we'll get a column or row 2 Tetris. Nice burns here for Cryticalapis. Akatu with a nice clean board too, so both players looking good here. Tetris Cryticalapis up to 428. Akatu responding with a Tetris going to 426, so we're neck and neck here at about 90 lines in. $524 now for Cryticalapis, $499 for Akatu, who gets a bar for a Tetris after a bit of a short drought there. Both players going up for the 19 transition once again. Winter saying, watching Cryticalapis this game, I'm like, damn, I'm uncreative. In what way? In terms of burning or stacking or what? I mean, you don't have to be the most creative person in the world. As long as it works, it works. You don't have to be this, like, quirky adjustment merchant. It's all about what's the correct move and what gets you out of a situation. Cryticalapis with a 577. Akatu, 576. So almost identical. Level 19 scores here. Oh, Cryticalapis suddenly with a couple of misdrops here. In some trouble, needs a bar now. Is he gonna get it? He's not, and Cryticalapis is gonna top out at 635. And Akatu, with that Tetris, is gonna take game 3, and we have a match here, folks. Akatu still alive, but very unfortunate there for Cryticalapis. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And different choices for the openings for both players there. Akatu looking for opting for the bar in 4, 5, 6, 7 and the Z in 7, 8, 9. Oh, Cryticalapis going for the Z in 1, 2 and the bar 2, 3, 4, 5. Six, 7 in the big 26, really? It's your fault for your brain being wired to immediately think when someone says the numbers 6 and 7 of that. Like, that's not a me problem, that's a you problem. I shouldn't have to censor what I say to appease you. Sentient Longbar saying the basketball on the TV is tied at 67-67. Well, someone's got to score. Cryticalapis at 206, Akatu 165. Critical trying to keep the board open here, but has to block off the well. Both players in a drought at the moment. Akatu getting the bar for the Tetris here. Cryticalapis wasn't able to really make much of that. Is still digging here, which has allowed Akatu now to take the lead. And Cryticalapis's board still in a bit of a rough state here, but is working through it. And might be able to see the end here as board has improved in state. 262 for Akatu, now ahead by a Tetris and a half. Cryticalapis 227. Yeah, I don't watch much basketball either. Not really a huge sports person in general. Like, I watch football, the actual football, not the American one. I watched that. Other than that, in terms of sports, like, that's basically it. I mean, I watch darts as well. I like watching darts. The only sports you watch is Tetris? Now that is a dedicated fan. Can't be a true Tetris fan, though, if you're not, like, hanging up posters and flags of your favorite Tetris players, or, I don't know, maybe you have a favorite Tetris level? Like, level 25 gang or something. You love sports that can end in a 0-0 tie. I mean, that's technically any sport. I mean, you could just not score. 504 for Cryticalapis. 517 for Akatu. Gauntlet tried to turn Tetris into a team sport. It was good for a while, then rolling happened. And also, like, Gauntlet kind of dying also happened. Yeah, but it doesn't make it boring inherently just because it can commonly end in 0-0. But, like, the need for sports to have, like, high scoring and all that is, like, kind of an inherently American thing. Which is why I suppose it's just never really taken off in the US. Yeah, American football can also end 0-0. I'm sure basketball can also end 0-0. 604 for Cryticalapis, 595 for Akatu, but both players not with great boards here. Cryticalapis can set up for a dirty, but has to block off with the Z piece. Oh, Cryticalapis with a misdrop and a hang of that L piece, and it's gonna hang the S piece, and Cryticalapis is gonna be done again early in post at 6:14, and Akatu is gonna take game 4 here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Just throw the dartboard at the wall. So true. Just chuck it at the wall. Bonus points if you, like, damage the wall. Even more bonus points if it causes, like, a collapse of the entire structure. Which, I mean, I don't know how you would manage to do that with just a dartboard, unless, like, you either hit it with the dartboard thousands of times, or you have a really shoddily made house. Dartboard darts, I would watch that. I'd pay to watch that. Throw the dartboard at the darts to see how much you can score. Now that's an idea. Gotta, like, angle it so that it hits the treble 20. Also, what's up, Hydrant? $131 here for Cryticalapis, 136 Akatu in the opening 40 lines here. Cryticalapis bringing the board down, getting a Tetris. Cryticalapis here hoping that a repeat of what happened against Alice doesn't happen here. Alice came back and reverse swept. Akatu briefly covering the well here, does get it back open, still left with a J dependency, plugs it with a T piece. But board is getting pretty high here for for Akatu. Does take a burn here, but Akatu, oh no, Akatu! Board was just too high there, tops out at 193, not like this. And Cryticalapis with 265 is gonna hold on to take game number 5, avoiding the reverse sweep and winning the set 3-2. Unfortunate there, but that's how it goes. All right, so let's get that reported. Winter saying Lapis bust a move. Is he gonna bust a move on us? Hang on, let's get over here before any of that. But yes, your winner for this first match of Saturday Showdown, Cryticalapis. Are underway. It's the battle of the TMP graduates. Let's see who will come out on top here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And they both said in chat that they're playing golf. So yeah, lowest score will win, of course. And Winter's winning at the moment because Cobra has 4 points. Anyway, let's go ahead and introduce our 2 players here, starting out on the left-hand side with a overall NTSC PB of 5.28 million points, which in fact was done on a 29 start. He is a roller out of the United States of America and finished 3rd place last season in CTL Season 31. Got to the semifinals, went out to Blue Scooty. We'll be hoping to go one step further and try to get his first ever CTL Finals appearance. It is Cobra. And his opponent on the right-hand side with an overall NTSC PB of 2,131,000 points. She is a roller out of the United States of America in her Division 1 debut season. A fellow graduate of the Tetris for the Non-Pros scene. Has been rapidly rising through the divisions and now finally in the promised land. Already with a win to her name, looking to make it 2 for 3. It is Winter. Both players also received votes in the January 2026 Premier Poll. Cobra was ranked 7th out of all ranked players. Premier Poll, of course, is the community-based ranking from quote-unquote broadcasters and journalists, which essentially is just restreamers and tournament organizers, or both. Cobra ranked 7th in a ranking of the overall aggregation of 20 rankers. Winter just missed out on the top 25, but was ranked 26th. Got 50 votes overall, including from yours truly. Cobra on 139, Winter 204. Winter made her CTL debut in Season 25 and went back to back to back in terms of promotions from Div 5 all the way up to Div 2. And spent 2 or 3 seasons overall in Div 2. Made it to the playoffs in first season 30, but narrowly lost to Cole in a decider 4-3, but then went up in Season 31 outright. Didn't have to go through the playoffs. And now is here in Div 1. Toast, thank you so much for the raid. Party of 2. GB Toast fellow CTL Super Streamer, Restreamer of the season for Season 31. Broke my streak. Granted, I didn't stream CTL pretty much at all, but he broke it. It's well-deserved as well. Toast, great Restreamer. Great community member, tournament organizer. He's hosting the Toastress Open later this month, which is kind of a indie regional tournament that's being hosted in Minnesota on, yeah, if I recall correctly, it's on Sunday the 25th. Yeah, Sunday 25th. And he's plugged it there. So if you're in the Minnesota area, or if you're willing to travel to play Tetris, there you go. Go to startgg/Toastress. I love seeing independent tournaments crop up. I mean, AIE Live, of course. My tournament is independent. Toastress, independent as well. And a few other ones cropping up as well, I've noticed. Cobra 419, Winter 384. Winter's up high here, but we'll keep that well open in column 3, and we'll get a Tetris and another Tetris there for Winter. Two great dirties there. We get as cold as minus 30 Celsius over the next 3 days. It only got to about minus like 11, 12 here in the UK. I don't know how I deal with minus 30, although from my experience, like the colder it gets, the sort of like cold doesn't scale as much as warmth does, I feel like. Like 0 degrees Celsius feels a lot colder, or like feels way colder than like plus 10 degrees. But I don't get much of a difference between like 0 Celsius and minus 10 Celsius, really. But yeah, that's rough. Cobra's on 643, Winter 562. Both these players also competed in the CTWC Gold bracket this year, or last year rather. Forgot it's 2026 now. Winter made it to round 1, but went out to Pixelandi, what was a real barnstormer of a match. Mila Cobra made it all the way to the top 8 and only went out to Blue Scooty, which that Season 31 semifinal was kind of a rematch of that. Ended the same, 3-1.